Robert H. Adams, born to Hickman and Ross Adams, was born on May 8, 1937 in Orange, New Jersey. He was accompanied by his sister, Carolyn, 3 years later. He was in the process of moving, sitting around in Madison, Wisconsin, but he resided in Wheat Ridge, Colorado in 1952. He lived his childhood like many others. He went on hikes with his father, played baseball, helped on projects, and was an active Boy Scout. Adams moved to South California in 1956 to take up English literature, going to the University of Redlands. He obtained his PhD in 1965 at the University of Southern California in the same subject. At Redlands, he met and married Kirsten Mornistam in 1960. They shared a love for the arts and nature. During this time as well, in 1963, he taught English at Colorado College and bought a 35mm reflex camera as a little side hobby, taking pictures of nature and architecture, the origin of his craft. For frame of reference, this is what a reflex camera sounds like when you shoot, and this is when you crank it. With this, he took classes at Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center and studied photography and its techniques from Myron Wood, a professional at the time. Comparing their shots show definite similarities. After all, they are teacher and student. In 1967, Adams took photography and made it his part-time job, teaching it to others, while using the rest of his time on projects. Around the same time, he met John Swarkowski, a curator of photography at the Museum of Modern Art, while on a trip to New York in 1969. 4 of Adams' prints were soon after bought by the Museum of Modern Art, and just a year after that, he became a full-time photographer, giving up all his time to dedicate himself to the art. Though unspecified by any sources, I speculate the prints bought by the Museum of Modern Art were Nevada Avenue, basement for a track house, Sunday school, a church in a new track, and an untitled work, all taken in Colorado Springs during 1969. Adams worked shooting the American West landscape for over 38 years, getting shots of Oregon, Colorado, and California. His prominence was through the 60s to 90s, with him publishing books that documented said state landscapes, which usually had 2 main features, the land and the structures created by man. Books include White Churches of the Plains, 1970, his first ever publication, and now listing with no discernible order, Summer Nights, 1985, Why People Photograph, 1994, Burning Oil Sludge, North Denver, 1973, which is not a book but a famous print. He uses photography to express his love of landscapes, but also to show the urbanization of nature and the impact mankind has on it. The new topographics exhibition, rising in 1975, changed photography, signifying a change from traditional depictions of landscape. Instead of untainted green fields, landscapes were littered with industrialization and the suburban uprising. It is known by now Adam enjoys this style of photography, with his work being a part of this exhibit. Other collaborators were Stephen Shore, John Schott, Nicola Nixon, and 7 others. Whenever Adams' shots strayed away from landscape and shifted towards a human subject, they still shouldn't be taken lightly. Take Kirsten enjoying the wind, east of Kyoto, Colorado, 1969. At a glance, you just see Adams' wife enjoying the wind while staring into a field. Adams sees something else. He sees this field, a once breathing ecosystem now empty and dead due to the commonality of man. Comparing this shot to one from Darren Allman's Full Moon series, published in 2015, obvious differences are seen. 2 things that set them apart are the colors and emphasis. Adam's shot shows his despair towards what humans are doing to the world, while Darren Allman's shot tells of the serenity yet eeriness of the world without humans. The color adds to Allman's shot, with it giving life. Adam's shot needs no color, none of his work does. A story is told just through their forms and value. Robert Adams will continue shooting up until his death, because if he doesn't, will he ever see the deeper meaning of our growth?